So, Bongo, whose intro clip do we use for this?
Well, I think we should use mine because I am a lot more popular than you right now.
Yeah, but dude, come on. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't even be here right now.
And if it weren't for me, people would have stopped watching your channel by now.
You really are a savage sometimes. Hello everybody and welcome to my review of the Happytime Murders, a film that is so full of puppets I just had to get my frequent guest reviewer and childhood friend Bongo along, so say hi.
Yes, thank you very much for joining me on my channel, Dan Jensen, but I hope you aren't implying that I'm a puppet. I am a monkey. You see, if I was a puppet, then somebody would have their hand up my...
Anyway, so Happytime Murders is a film directed by Brian Henson, son of legendary Jim Henson, who created the Muppets, and this film...
So this movie is starring Melinda McCartney as a police officer. And,
dude, come on, it's Melissa McCarthy. You really suck at getting people's names right, don't you?
Yeah, these people know what I'm talking about, schmuck.
Okay, what's this film called, Bongo?
It's, The Happy Days Murders.
Okie dokie. So, this film, yeah, it stars Melissa McCarthy, Joel McHale, Elizabeth Banks, Maya Rudolph, and a whole cast of puppets, and it's essentially kind of like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit tale. We've got a detective puppet named Phil Phillips, who used to be a police officer, and he was part of a TV show called The Happytime Gang back in his heyday, and the cast of this show are getting bumped off one by one, so he has to reteam with his old partner, played by Melissa McCarthy, in order to figure out exactly who is committing these murders and try and stop it. Now, as many of you know, I am not the world's biggest fan of Melissa McCarthy. It was one of the things that did actually kind of put me off wanting to see this film, but...
You know, I never could figure this out. She's a brilliant actress. Brilliant! In fact, she is so good at playing that character that they let her do it in every film.
And which character is that?
Her character. You know, the one she plays in every film.
Yeah, exactly. You know that's not necessarily a good thing, right? Yeah, anyway, look, so I was really looking forward to the film, though, because if you've seen the trailer, you know what to expect. It is full of vulgarity, sex, drugs, violence, profanity. It's not the sort of puppet film you want to take your kids to see, and that really appealed to me. I mean, you know, I do have that kind of twisted sense of humor. So going into it, yeah, look, I was expecting a really funny movie. As it was, I liked it. I didn't think it was as funny as it could have been, though. It's not to say that there weren't funny moments in the film, just overall there were some parts where the laughs did kind of die down a little bit, and the story was a little familiar, you know, it wasn't anything that new to the table. The whole gimmick with the puppets, at first, like, when we first established this world that we're in, was done really well. You really believe that there's this world where puppets and humans are interacting. There was, I think it was kind of trying to make a bit of a statement about racism. Didn't come across all that well, but look, overall, yeah, it was fun to watch. And the work that went into making this film, you know, there were so many scenes where you see a puppet walking along on its own and you think, you know, how exactly have they achieved all this? Stick around for the end credits because there is actually a whole bunch of behind the scenes shots of how they did it. And yeah, the artistry that went into it was actually quite outstanding. So Bongo, I've noticed with your reviews that you tend to have an opinion that vastly differs to mine. You tend to like movies that kind of suck. So what did you think of this movie?
Well, thank you. I'm glad you asked. This movie is honestly one of the best movies I've ever seen, and it's so full of comedy and action, and puppets were funny, and Melinda McCartney was excellent, and it also has the hottest female lead I've ever seen in a movie since the 50 Shades.
What the hell? You actually found Melissa McCarthy hot?
No. I'm talking about Sandra, the puppet. Oh my God, she was so sexy. Oh, I'd like to give her a banana if you know what I'm talking about.
Dude, It's a puppet.
You're a puppet.
Right. That's a little weird.
Yeah. I saw you fidgeting in the cinema whenever she was on
Anyway,
screen. Don't try to deny
none
it.
of that is true. Kind of. Well, yeah, she was kind of hot for a puppet. So look, overall, I mean, this movie's getting an absolute bashing online by critics. A lot of people are saying it's one of the worst movies of the year. I don't think so. I thought it was fine. It's definitely not one of the best movies of the year, but I had a fine time watching it. I thought it was entertaining enough. I would probably own it on Blu-ray. I don't know if I'd get it on day one. It's not the sort of movie you want to rush out and see again, but at the same time, it's definitely not a bad film. I had a fun time with it, and I'm going to give the Happytime Murders a 7 out of 10. And I almost hate to ask, but how about you, Bongo? How many bananas out of 10 would you give this film?
Well, I had so much fun watching the Happy Days Murders, and I would probably give this movie 10 bananas out of 10.
So
Thank you very much for watching this review of the Happy Days Murders. And a big thank you to this guy, Dan Jensen, for joining me on my review. And if you'd like to see any more of his reviews, you can always stay tuned to my channel here, where sometimes I let him do them.
Anyway, yeah, so if you've seen the Happytime Murders, I'd love to know what you thought of it. Like, yeah, where do you sit on the fence on this one? Did you absolutely hate it? Did you think it was okay? Because I've seen some mixed reviews on it, so let me know what your thoughts are. Drop me some comments, either here or on Facebook. All the social media links are in the description below, because
I like to talk about movies, no monkey business. Yeah.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.
In order to figure out exactly who is committing these murders and try and stop